Perfect. So, hello and welcome to Diverse and Inclusive Leaders, the podcast show where I interview the most inspirational and thought-provoking leaders of today. Today is a mini episode as I'm on honeymoon at the moment, and I've had the privilege of meeting the incredible Tendel Sangapul, and I hope that I pronounced that correctly. But Tendel is a Bhutanese Master Practitioner. He is absolutely fabulous. We've been to a number of his classes already, my husband and I, and he's really made us think and taken us away actually with a sense of kind of peace and relaxation and mindfulness that I think we'll be able to take back with us to the UK. Tendel is originally from Bhutan. He brings a wealth of experience and unique insight through his healthcare and spiritual therapies. I'm really excited to talk to him today because Bhutan is, of course, the happiest place in the world, where they measure not in gross domestic product but in happiness. And so I'm really keen for our listeners to learn a little more about Tendel's background and how he came to be where he is today. So welcome to the show, Tendel.
Thank you so much.
So talk to me a little bit about your background. Obviously you were born in Bhutan and you found spiritual healing therapies as your career. How did this happen? And tell me a little bit about, you when you were growing up, perhaps.
First of all, thank you so much for letting me to talk about my journey since how I have started, let's say, this journey and reached into this stage to be part of wellness team. Well, when I was young, but yes, the concept of the spirituality back home in Bhutan is always so high, being Buddhist by religion, and we have basically my grandparents, my parents, they were really into spiritualities. I mean, like they do meditation. They always believe in these things like reincarnation, so that's how I was kind of like more into it. The way my dad, especially my mom, they were my heroes actually. They always guide me, well, back when I was young, back home in Bhutan, I still remember, we don't have that much facilities like other rest of the world they have, and it was a bit of challenging, I should say, in terms of everything comes to, let's say, I didn't get much to know about the world because the technology back during those days has been very limited. Being a small country and economy is not that strong enough. So that's why I was always following my grandparents and parents advices, so that's how I started to be a humble person, I should say, because of all the concept of the religion, especially the Buddhism. The Buddhist has very strong sense of the religion, and we always respect our parents, your elder, your younger. We always like to stay as a family. We don't really break up our family. So yeah, that's how I have been motivated by my parents actually.
Wow, that's beautiful. So it's really fostering that sense of community spirit, and that you've always had your mother and father as heroes too, which I think is fantastic. And I'm sure your children now think also the same about you too.
Yeah, yes, I try to always communicate with my kids, like though I'm not with them, I've been away from them for last couple of years now, and like they're back home with my wife, and like I always try to like speak them a regular basis, because it's nice to keep contract with your kids, because you have to see how they're growing, how they're improving. Like maybe, of course, they're quite young still, but like they have been going to they are in the schools, and like I always try to give my advice, so that like, they can get some knowledge from there, and I'm also like I always speak to my wife about my kids, like in terms of education, what kind of what kind of education they have to take it. But like it's their choice nowadays. The kids are more smarter than in fact. I mean, like this modern world.
Very savvy.
It is because of the let's say because of the technology. I always say, like because of the social media, through television, through the news. Like kids are so brilliant, very sharp to pick up everything within a minute. Like I mean, like during my time, it was not. I didn't have that opportunity. I mean, like there's no television, no internet. Forget about mobile. Mobile, just very new back home in Bhutan. Once we had a television and the internet that launched back in 1999, which is not too far. And once that has launched, then the country, the people has moved forward. Like the way, in terms of the living standard, in terms of how they eat the food, like and interacting with the people, like so that was very very like one way I should say it's good move, but other side, well, I'm not really sure with this introduction of like technology, with the having internet and like television, with that will help in long run for the future generation. That's something that I always concern myself, because by looking at your own kids, like and like my kids are just 6 and 9 years old, and they are much better than me in terms of using the phones. I mean, like the googling few things. They're so smart. I have a big concern. Once they reach into teenage, hope they will not get really attracted into social media. Like that is big challenging we might face, but like there's not such as to be worried too much, I should say.
I completely concur with you. On one side, it's great technology that moves the world forward, but on the other side, it's quite, I don't know, I guess it can be quite scary in the modern world,
Well,
because
that's true.
everyone is on their phones,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
certainly where we live in the UK, the pressure of work and being on your phone, you can never switch off sometimes, because the mobile phone is like a computer, and it allows you to have emails and messages and be in constant communication.
Yes.
And I guess a lot of the people who are listening to the podcast today, they're working a lot, they're pushing themselves a lot. What kind of advice would you give to maybe get people to slow down? Because you've managed to make my husband and I relax while we've been here, which is actually sometimes quite challenging.
Exactly.
Because you're always working,
Yeah.
not taking enough time to slow down and think about and reflect on what you're doing and the present moment.
Well, when it comes to this sort of situation, I should say, well, the first thing that you should analyze is like you should really be in a position to understand what the other people need or wants, or what's their desire. Like to make someone be more relaxed, which is I always believe myself, like you should have your strong believe yourself. The first thing is, and like with that, when you have strong belief within yourself, then you can always help someone with different ways, to make them more calm as a person, more grounded, more peace, so in that case I always highlight to my colleagues, my family, my client, whoever comes along on the way. I always highlight them, try to practice meditation and to yoga classes. These are the things, you will that will change your life. I should say that will change your life, as well as that will make you more comfortable person you are. That will change, because that is something that I have learned a lot through my journey since I started where I am reaching right now. Yeah.
What would you say are some of the biggest things within your career, or biggest achievements, or biggest feelings, where there's been a turning point almost in your career where you've learned a huge amount? Can you share with me any of these times?
Thank you so much for this question. Yes, my biggest achievement must be, let's start. Let's highlight how I have reached into this stage. Of course, I have quite a few points earlier as well, but uh, to be let's say from I started with a regular therapist. It just I was trained with normal treatment, I should say, like Swedish massage. It's just basic things. But like once I have got that skills or knowledge, then I took very serious myself. Not just depending on your trainer or your gurus or your masters to train every single day, but along on the side I always try to do something, learn myself, google it, go to YouTube, lots of things that you can learn from these things, so that's how I have started. And like within a year of working in the hotel industry as just a regular therapist, then I got an opportunity to go to abroad, country called Thailand, which I spent like a couple of months doing some more training, interest training, and to know about more about the hospitalities, and that's how I started. And like once I finished my training back in Thailand, then I went back to Bhutan, and like I spent 9-10 years. From there, I was promoted into different roles. Let's say like looking after the spa as a spa supervisor. Then after a few years, then they thought like I need to move one step ahead, and they promoted me as a senior supervisor for 5 properties back in Bhutan. Looking after 5 properties is quite challenging. And like, yes, I had a spa manager above me, but sometimes he or she is out of country most of the time because of the marketing or sales trip, like that, so I was kind of a focal person. Looking daily basis operations. Then from there, then like I thought like it's time for me to move now. Just walking back in Bhutan, in same resort. It's working for 10 years, quite a long time I find. Then like I got an opportunity to move to Turks and Caicos, the Caribbean island, the same company, Aman Resort, but the name that I used, the name is like Aman Yara, in Turks and Caicos. So I stayed there for like just less than 3 years, which is Yes, that was a bit challenging I had because I keep on missing my family. It's been very far. That was my first time that I have to leave my wife and kids back home. It's been quite challenging. But I made it. I made it because I believe myself. The reason why I came out from the home to work outside is something that I have dreamed for such a long time. It's even my dad, my brothers, my sisters, they really appreciate the journey that I took. They never thought I will be I will be one day I'll be working abroad. With this beautiful result. That was the highlight, and that was my dream. But bit of challenging as well along the way. So yeah, that's how I reached to this stage, and I have more dreams to fulfill. So hope that will take me another level. So yeah.
Fantastic. That's such an interesting journey, and I'm so glad. I'm sure that all of your family are very proud of you as well.
Yeah.
And just final quick question, because I know that you're in demand here at the Body Holiday for treatments and classes and everything like that, so I don't want to keep you much longer. But I wondered, is there anything advice-wise that you can leave me and the audience with today from any of the teachings around the Buddha or the energy from the Reiki that you also conduct, which is incredible, about energy, grounding? Any advice that you could perhaps share with our listeners?
Well, as a human being, now it's our responsibilities to look after ourselves. That's one thing that everyone should know it. Sometimes we tend to forget to respect ourselves and also our body. I always highlight these things to my colleagues. My client. Uh, you go out for party and you drink like a hell. Next day you get hangover, and your body is not in a position to go for work. That shows that that you're not respecting your body. Something that everyone should change. I know once in a while it's fine. Glass of wine, something that will make you more peace. That's absolutely fine. But at the same time, we have to respect our body, and also the way the food that we are eating, eat less of fast food and go for organic things. I know organic foods are quite expensive, but that will change your body, that will change your life. If you just thinking of grab fast foods in within few days, weeks, 10 days, or a couple of weeks, you will see your body shape, mental, everything is drained out. So that's all I can give you advice. Along with that, I've already said earlier again, meditation. Please follow the meditation, and do yoga. These are the things that I can just highlight as a piece of advice from me. So I have been always following the meditation. That's something that I have. With the help of meditation, I am where am I right now. So that's all I can say.
Thanks so much, Tendel.
My pleasure. That's all. My pleasure. You're welcome.
So in summary for our listeners, hopefully you've really taken some positive guidance from today's podcast with Tendel. I certainly learned a lot. Certainly to always believe in yourself, to take the time to meditate, to relax, to reflect, try and practice yoga, and mainly, and above everything else, look after your body and really believe in yourself. Because if you have that personal belief in yourself, then really anything is possible and you can overcome all the challenges that life might throw at you. fantastic. Thank you so much.
It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
It's my
I
pleasure.
really,
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it. It's so
So
nice
much.
of you. Thank you, Tendel.
Welcome.
If you'd like to find out more about Tendel as well, as a quick one, do find him on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram account is 0975 Tendel, I think, yeah. If I'm not wrong, yes.
0975 Tendel.
Yes.
But I'll put everything onto the show notes for all of our listeners. Obviously, you can visit thebodyholiday.com.
Yes.
And definitely visit thebodyholiday.com. You can visit and you can come and see Tendel in real life as well and feel his amazing positive energy. And I'll put everything into the show notes as well from today's episode, so you can visit dialglobal.org/podcast, or you can find us on the Dial Global YouTube channel as well. My name's Leila McKenzie, and you've been listening to Diverse and Inclusive Leaders, the podcast mini episode today. Thanks so much. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching the Diverse and Inclusive Leaders podcast. Please do feel free to hit the like button below, or if you'd like to receive future notifications, do ping the notification bell here at the side. If you're interested in the audio version only, you can find it on the following streaming platforms. Any extra info and descriptions will be in the links below. Look forward to seeing you soon.